Hello again, folks. It is Mitch Boyle, Triple Double Sports Cards. Yes, I'm going to keep saying folks. And everybody says, what's up, everybody? Well, I'm not going to do that because I'm an older guy. By the way, the oldest guy in the world, Bugs Bunny, said, what's up, everybody? Or maybe he said Doc. In any event, it's going to be hello, folks, from Mitch Boyle, Triple Double Sports Cards. Today, we are going to talk about the Holy Grail. Number 57, Michael Jordan Fleer rookie card. And I've got 4 that I'm going to submit. So we're going to take a look at those. This is one of those pre-submissions. This is now my 6th or 7th video. One of them, I got some submissions back and actually got a couple of 9s with the Jordan sticker and got a couple of 9s with the Bird Magic card. And I got some 7s and some 8s on those cards as well. So you've seen that. But this is what I like to call a pre-submission. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to share my screen so that we can go to the video. Let me pull this down here. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over to this one. This is a 6. And we're going to look at how these were graded. And I want to say this sold for like $3,000. And then we're going to look at an 8, which I think sold for like $6,000 or so. And then we're going to look at a 9, which sold for about 13 or so. And then we're going to look at a 10. I think I have a 10 here as well. And then we're going to look at my cards and kind of figure out, hey, where do they sit in the echelon of grading via PSA? So again, thanks for watching. Subscribe, please. It's Triple Double Sports Cards. Hit that button below. Maybe even give me a like. But most importantly, if you have questions or thoughts about these grades, I would love to hear them. So first thing, great that we're doing a Zoom call. That's how I'm doing this, because I can zoom around and kind of get a look at some things. So here we go. I'm going to see if I can fan that up a little bit. Is my face in the way there? Probably it's just a bit. All right, there we go. So you can see why this probably got a 6. Left-hand corner, I'm not sure what's going on. There's some fraying. Right-hand corner, kind of messy. That whole right-hand edge is not the greatest, right? Let's go down to the bottom here on this thing. And then you'll see bigger evidence. Again, this sold for, I want to say just about $3,000. Actually, that's a pretty good price for a card of this condition. Now, you might say, oh, wow, look at that lower right-hand corner. But remember, grading is a lot more than that. The color on this card is pretty good. The centering's pretty good on this card. So you can't complain too much. I think if I hit this button here, is it this one? Yeah, we can see the back of it. Again, centering's great on this card. It's just the edges on the right, and then the upper right-hand corner and the lower right-hand corner that were pretty messed up. So, all right, so let's do this. Actually, this is the 9. Let me see if I can get my finger on that. Ah, there we go. Sometimes this thing's a little touchy. So here's one that went for about $4,000. This is the 8. Let's take a closer look at this one. And all of these were sold recently on eBay. These aren't like years ago. It's pretty much, over the last couple of months. So here's the corners on this one. It looks pretty good. The right and left edges are not perfect. And I'm not going to, you can't in this format check out surface damage too much. But the corners are kind of what you look at after the edges. And this is actually pretty darn good when you take a look at it like this. The centering is not perfect, as you can see. Top to bottom, it's close, and then right to left, that's probably along with, maybe a kind of a rough right edge and a little bit of fraying would hurt this card. Here's the back of it. Now, the centering on the back, as I'm looking at this, is off a lot, and I don't think that PSA grades a lot cards in a real lower fashion when they're this centering, but it didn't help. So there's that. Let me just see something. I'm going to see exactly what this sold for. Oh, actually, this sold for $5,000. I don't know why I thought it sold for $3,000. That 6 did sell for around $3,000. So I don't know if that's the ballpark these days. I know these prices have been fluctuating a lot. Let's jump to this 9 if I can grab it. All right, so here's a 9. Now, the first thing you're going to see on this that might make you question why it got a 9 was the centering. And it's off. It's off top to bottom for sure, and left to right. So the next thing is that the surface and the corners and the back and everything else about this has to be pretty, actually probably close to perfect. So let's find out. All right, so let's go to these corners. So you can see compared to those two previous cards, although that right edge has a little bit of wear, it's in pretty good shape as far as the edges. Let's cue down here a little bit. What a photo. I mean, God, can you imagine Flair going, hey, some producer of these, I like this one. How about this one? That's the most iconic photo in sports cards, period. I think. Of course, I'm a basketball guy. What do I know? There's probably some crazy baseball ones that are uniquely amazing, all things considered. So, you know, as you can see on that right side, the edges are kind of rough, but the corners are really, really good. So that is the deal on this particular card. Let's take a quick look at the back. There you go. Centering pretty good. It's actually better on the back than it is on the front. Left to right, not perfect. Top to bottom, not perfect, but better than, as you can see, the front. And again, I think this sold for a little less than 13 grand. All right, let's go to a 10. And I want to say this one sold for somewhere, you know, they're selling between 50 and 100 grand. So again, first thing you look at, left to right, centering's perfect. Now study it. How about top to bottom? Interesting, isn't it? But I know there's leeway with PSA. I think it's like 55-45 or something. So that still can stay in the realm of a 10. Here's where things get really interesting, meaning that there really are no issues other than maybe, you know, you look, I'm going to really zoom in on this corner up here. So it's interesting when you look at this closely, you can see some of the fibers from the paper on that. But the edges, you know, obviously when you micro look at it, microscope it, whatever you want to call it, you can really start seeing some things that you wouldn't otherwise see. So let's take a look down here just to see. So that, you know, these edges are about as good as it gets. Of course, it is a 10, so you'd expect that. So I think this one went for 65 grand or something like that. I know the ones have gone as much as 110 lately. So there you have it. Now, let's go to another share here. I think I have to stop sharing there. And then I have to reshare here. And then I have to go to my pictures. And do I double tap? There we go. All right, so sorry about the centering on this. Now, there is something I do want to say that is important, and I learned it from, I can't remember, the guy's got a website and does great videos on how-tos for PSA, and he has a PSA in his name. I started watching him about 4 months ago and have learned so much, and shame on me for not remembering his name because he does incredible work. But the one thing he said was, get a good scanner. So I did that. And these, as you can see, versus the ones that I had the last 4 or 5 videos are way better. So we can do some real checking. Again, I got 4 of these. None of these have gone in. They'll go into PSA for grading here in the next few days. And again, it's Mitch Boyle, Triple Double Sports Cards. Please subscribe. Please give me your opinions about what these cards grades should be, and maybe even toss in a like. So we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to take a little zoom action. We're going to look at these corners, and then we'll get a little bit more reveal here. And I'm going to try to do it in about the same dimension as I did where it fills up most of the screen. So you can see on this card that it's not perfect. That left corner has a little bit of wear. And by the way, I put these in sleeves. So some of these dots and hairs are from the sleeves themselves. That right-hand corner is not perfect. The edge along here is not perfect. And there's something else about this card you're going to see on the back. That right-hand edge, lower right-hand corner, not so good, and neither is the left. So, however, I will say, because I did this on a good flatbed scanner, well, I'm going to try to get out of that sun here. It's coming in here as it fights through the trees in our yard. The accuracy of the photo is way better. So it's easier for us to pick all the flaws in the cards that I have versus the other ones. So let's go here. So here's the back of the card. And what you'll notice is, I hope PSA doesn't see this, is some discoloration. And I'll go specifically to this corner. I magnify the other ones, but you can see that that right-hand corner up there has some discoloration. So, you know, I don't know if that card, I can't remember when I bought these cards or who from, or were they sitting in a, out in a public display where the back of the card was caught some sun or whatever. It's kind of odd, isn't it? Anyway, let's go to the next one. And again, sorry about the sunlight coming in here. It's fighting through our trees in the backyard. I thought I'd hide behind the shadow now, but the lighting's getting kind of crappy. Okay, so this is card number 2. Oh, wait, let's go back here real briefly. Let's check out the centering on this because I've been talking about that on all these. So centering. Although the corners aren't perfect as we saw, the coloring obviously is very good and the centering is very good. And that goes for the back, top to bottom. It's a little off. Actually, the centering on the front is way better than on the back. So I'm guessing that's kind of usual for these Jordan cards, that if it's perfectly centered on the front, it won't be on the back. All right, here's card number 2 that we're going to be submitting. So, oops, centering left to right, pretty good. Top to bottom, we got issues. However, let's take a look at these corners. And again, you're going to see some dots and some hairs, and that has more to do with the card holder. Like that red dot you see just above the basketball there, that is on the card holder. Now, that left edge is pretty damn sharp. That right edge is not perfect, but it's pretty good. And as you go down, one of the things they may catch me on these little, it's hard to see here, but on that far right-hand side, just about a 1/4 inch above the blue, there's a couple little pink dots there. So you can get whacked on that. I'm not sure if some of those other cards I saw on eBay that had sold for whatever in the various categories might have gone for, or might have gone a lower grade because of the same thing. I'm sure that's the case. So lower right-hand corner, again, not so good. Some fraying on the edges. So I'm not sure how this card will grade versus the other one. Let's take a look at the back. Again, a little discoloration in that upper right-hand corner. Centering though on the back is pretty good. It's not perfect. All right, off to card number 3. I'm gonna get better lighting next time. This is not good. I'm a little disappointed. All right, let's check the centering first. Card number 3, centering looks good. Boy, I don't think you can see it, but because I put these in top loaders or semi-rigids, I should say, with the, I forget the little plastic covering that goes with it. Anyway, you can kind of see some of the reflection here and there. All right, let's go straight to the corners. It's pretty damn good on that left corner. That right corner might even be better. Now, here's what's interesting about this particular card. We've seen on highly graded cards already that the edges have been frayed, and this card and the edges really better than most. See that? Look down here on this blue side. Now the only issue, that actually that right corner is in good shape and the left corner is perfect, but you can see that 3 or 4 specks of fraying there on this card. So unfortunately, I might get whacked there. But boy, the centering is pretty damn good. Top to bottom, perfect. Left to right, not quite. Might be enough tolerance. Let's look at the back. So again, a little discoloration up here. Again, I don't know if that was the case with those other cards because my photos are so much better than the ones we saw on eBay. So it's easy to get picky on here, but not bad. All right, one more card to go. Come on, you. Oh, she's fighting me. Maybe that was it. Let's find out here. Come on now. Oh, come on. Maybe it's just getting hot. Ah, okay. Is this the last one? Nope, that was it. All right, here's the last one. Sorry about that. Okay, so centering left to right is good. Top to bottom is good. So really well centered card, but there's going to be some issues with this as I had looked at it earlier. So left-hand corner, not too bad. Right-hand corner, not too bad. Edges going down left and right. Isn't it funny how most of these cards, if there's a problem, the issues on the right edge, it must have been the way it was cut. The problem with this card, unfortunately, color's great on this one, is that right-hand edge and that corner. I'm going to get dinged on that. So, and then lastly, here's the back of the card. Not center perfect, but not too bad. So that is it. That is our 7th video for triple double sports cards. We had a chance to look at what happened on eBay with some various grades and how the cards looked and the money they got for the grades they saw through PSA. And now I would love for you to give me your opinion on how this is going to go. Will I get a bunch of 6s, 7s, and 8s? Maybe there's a 9 in there. Maybe there's some 8s. Is it possible that one card could squeeze out a 10? Probably not, but maybe some of you folks who've done this a lot longer than I have probably have a better idea. So when you put in your comments, look at the cards 1, 2, 3, and 4 in that order. And as you're giving me comments, what I'd love to hear is you say, card 1 has, I'd give it a whatever. And card 2, I'm going to give it a blank, blah, blah, blah. And then we'll see how you do versus what the grades are. And I'll do the same thing and I'll see how I do. I'm going to send these out express on Monday. Means I should get them back in about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, the way things are going. So again, thanks so much for subscribing, for watching what we did today. It's Mitch Boyle, triple double sports cards. We're going to keep having a bunch of fun, and who knows what comes up next. I got some unopened stuff. I do have a few more Jordans. I got some Bird Magics. It's primarily 80s stuff. So we got some fun coming your way. And again, thank you so much for subscribing and watching Triple Double Sports Cards.